Hi! In this video we are going to make reinforced cardboard for model buildings. Our materials are cereal box, white glue, knife, weights, paper lumber optional, toothpick or joist optional, and wax paper. Our procedure is going to be to trim our cardboard, ready the weights, apply the glue, use our fake wood paper material if wanted, bond, trim to size, and optionally add our joists. Okay, we'll just get right to the project here. And I have already taken a couple cereal boxes, or actually one, and cut it into pieces. And I like to make it just by doubling the cereal box. So I'm gonna get the size about the size of the box so I make as much as possible at once. And I like to have my cardboard out, so if I want to paint it, I have a nice surface to paint on. And I just go ahead and get my white glue and put on a light coating, trying to spread it as evenly as possible. And I just use the bottle and systematically get her going here. Try not to gob too much in one spot and just go back and forth throughout the entire area. Make sure we're getting some out here, yeah. And so when we press them together, we have good coverage. We don't want globs. When I get a glob on there, I like to just spread it out a little bit using the container. And we want to make this as easy as possible. And at the very end, after it's all bonded, we will be able to trim it. And that way the rough edges will be invisible and won't really matter. So get a nice coating on there. When we put our weights on it, that'll further spread out the glue. But just make sure we get good coverage because we don't want to have air gaps in our construction material that we're making. And I just put the two pieces together and press it. And for this one, I also want to, I have some of this leftover board flooring material, and I like using this in my models to simulate a floor. And I just purchased this at a local hobby store, and I'm going to just apply this to one area here. And when I do assemble my models, I'll just be trimming this to the proper size, but what I'm doing here is just making a construction material, and this will be enough for a floor for a building this size. And whatever, this leftover piece I'll be able to use it on another project, and these other areas here I'll use wherever I need reinforced cardboard material. And I'm going to use the same procedure where I just try to get a light coating and spread it evenly throughout the area. And again, when I put the weights on, that will help to distribute the glue. I think I'll put these two on first. And the idea is to get some raw construction materials that I can use on projects later on when I'm working on projects that don't include floors, and something I might want to scratch build where I want a simulated wood look. And the other one here, just the plain cardboard will work really well for tar paper roofs, or actually any kind of roof on a scratch built structure. And so I get my glue on. I don't want to overdo it, and I'll put these on here. Actually, I kind of want to get them off to the edge, because that way I'll get the most material. I'm going to be using wax paper in between. I want to get these as close as I can, and a lot of this is going to be hidden, but I still want to get it as neat as possible. So I have all of these pieces ready. I have the glue in between. I have the glue on my other flooring pieces. And then I go ahead and I get my books. And I just put a big book down, put a piece of wax paper down, so whatever oozes out is going to be captured by the wax paper. Put my book underneath, put my wax paper on top, and then I put my other book on top, and I usually do apply more weights on top of that. And then I'll just leave this for a good 24 hours and let that set. And this gives you an idea right here of what we're going for. And this is my machine shed, scratch-built machine shed, and tar paper roof. And this is the technique I used with the cardboard. And in this one I used scale lumber joists to give a little more detailed effect. And this is just the two cereal boxes put together. And then newspaper, spray painted black with flat black. For this particular one, I used ash as a weathering material, and I used some black artist pigment to simulate black tar that you would put in between the joints. So there's one application, and here's another example of the simulated wood material bonded to the cardboard. And here I used it for a floor, and I think you get a good look at that. It makes a nice looking floor. And this is the bottom floor, and that one I just reinforced with toothpicks because it wasn't necessary to have a real pretty appearance down there. So just to add some rigidity to the whole structure. So that's our easy method for making a construction material out of our cereal box and our white glue, and not very much time, and we'll have some really nice long-lasting structures. And remember to have fun with your hobby.